Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another tutorial. So this is Hootie the Owl. That's a temporary name. I know it's not very original, but that's all I could think of at the moment. This owl was a request by a lovely lady, and I'm very happy to make it. And I found out that there are a lot of owl lovers out there. I am one too. I love them. I think they're so cute. So this is going to be the last in our bead embroidery series at the moment. So we have, this is our fourth project, and I think we'll go back to a little bead weaving after this, and we'll get back to bead embroidery, but you know, we'll make him just sort of the end of just this little series, and then we'll move on a little bit. All right, so in order to make this guy, you're going to need a cabochon. So this is a 25 by 18 millimeter oval cabochon, and this is a picture of Jasper. It's going to be his cute little belly. Okay. You're going to need some Lacy stiff stuff. I'll put him over here for a second. Or any kind of bead backing. Now, just real quick, I get a lot of questions about bead backing, and sorry about the rustling, but I've gotten a lot of comments and a lot of questions, and people are very concerned about bead backing. Okay, here you go. You want some color. I mean, some of you have been using dyes and markers and pencils and water. I've used watercolors, you name it. Nicole's bead backing comes in all sorts of colors. You can get it all one color. You can get, I just bought in a pack of assorted colors. You can just get, you know, a couple of sheets, or, yeah, and these are pretty big. God, they look like they're close to, like, I don't know, they look bigger than 8 by 11 to me. My mat is, I know I'm covering up the whole mat, is 11 by 14, and it's almost the size of my mat, and I think I paid $12 for like 8 pieces. Yeah, about 8 pieces. That's going to last me forever. And you can get them all in one color. Just get them in a neutral, or just get 4 pieces or 2 pieces in a neutral color. They're not expensive, and if you're concerned about having a color backing, you just use the color with a white pencil. I will always use white when I'm filming, because that way you can see what I'm doing. If I use a dark one, you're not going to see it as well. So, so that's Nicole's bead backing, and it's an Etsy shop, and I know that many of you have probably already been on that Etsy shop, and it's called Bead Right, B-E-A-D, Right, WRIGHT.com, or beadright.etsy.com. So you can go there and you can, solve the color problem with whether, what to do about the backing. Okay? All right. So that, I'm glad we found that out. That's nice to know. And it feels the same to me. I haven't used it yet, but it feels the same. Okay, so you need the bead backing. You're going to need some Ultra Suede, and I've got a little piece of black Ultra Suede here. So the Ultra Suede is going to be the cover, the backing, to make everything look pretty. So we've got some Ultra Suede there. Now the Ultra Suede is a little expensive, but one sheet can last forever. So again, pick a neutral. I just pick black, and I use black on everything. Okay, you'll need, you could have a permanent marker. If you're doing the brown one, get a brown Sharpie or any permanent marker, just to color in the edges. It's always a good idea to color the edge of the stiff stuff, although, you really don't see it. If you're concerned about it, that's always nice to have. Okay, you'll need some flatback crystals, and those are his eyes right there, and they're 7 millimeter, and they're exactly what their name says. They're flat on the back, and they're crystal on the front. These are acrylic. I would suggest you find a glass crystal, Swarovski, any one. Let me pull out a little bit, because I think that what will happen with the acrylic is that eventually they're going to get cloudy, and you're doing a lot of work on this, intricate work on this. So it would be nice if it lasted. I don't think this is going to last, so I'm going to have to redo him eventually. So I would suggest the glass. I couldn't find it in green, so I got the acrylic. Okay, you're going to need one SuperDuo, and that's in matte Hematite. Just one, just for his little beak there. Cute. All right. Let's see. You need some 3.4 millimeter Miyuki drops, and I'm using here they are. I'm using the matte metallic Khaki Iris matte. Let me see. Hold on a second. Make sure I have the name right. Let's see. Matte Khaki Iris, sorry. matte khaki iris. There we go. All right, and that's what I used on Tallulah. Everything will be in the description box, so every time I make a mistake or forget something, it will be down there. Okay. All right, so you're gonna need those. You're going to need some seed beads. You need 11O seed beads, and I'm using matte metallic bronze, and I'm using metallic gold or matte metallic or metallic bronze. I think either one would be fine. I'm using a 15O, and I'm using dark gold. Now I know these colors, I go to these colors clearly all the time. They're just the best colors for filming. If I would love to make a black and silver owl. I think that would be just so beautiful with like maybe red eyes or something. How cool would that be? But silver's so reflective that it's really kind of hard for me to film in it. Film with silver. So that's why I'm, aside from, of course I love bronze, but and browns, but I love all metals. So anyway, so we need those seed beads, 2 11Os, one matte, one shiny, and one shiny 15O. We're going to need some assorted beads, and that's for his tail feathers here. So I went to a bead show. I'm just going to pour some out in my hand, and I just bought these little packets of assorted beads, and for $1 you got, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, half a cup. I don't know what the weight, they weren't, there was no weight on them, but they're all different beads, and they're all like funky looking beads, and some rondelles, and little pearls, and seed beads that are all wacky and out of shape, and they're just so perfect for the tail, because I wanted the tail to look, I didn't want it to be these perfect lines. I didn't want him to look that way. I wanted him to be, which would be gorgeous, but I just wanted him to have sort of a fluffy looking tail. And by using all different size seed beads here, I think I've accomplished that. And it goes with the rest of the pendant, so if you can find yourself some, I mean, I think you could just go right into your, probably your bead stash. You probably have, like I do, bags of seed beads you haven't put away yet, and crystals and such. Take a few of each and throw them in a little cup, and there you go. You've got yourself a little bead mix so that you can do this. All right. Okay, you're going to need a teardrop crystal. This is a 10.5 by 7 millimeter crystal, and that's for the center fringe of his tail. You're going to need 2 4 millimeter Swarovski bicones. And I have these in emerald, okay, and I just went with the green theme because of his eyes, and I thought it would be nice. I kind of put this little sort of two 4 millimeters here and the drop here to give you that sort of pull your eye to sort of focus on the tail, because the tail is all different, it's all different seed beads, so it gives you a little, I don't know, I like the continuity between the eye, and then you come here and it sort of you get a little focus on the tail there. So you can use that. You can use any color you want. Let's see. We need some E6000 glue. And where's my, trying to find my E6000. Oh, here we go. Okay, I keep mine in a bag because it really gives me a headache. Some of us are very sensitive to this. Try Fabri-Tac. I'll put that in the description box. Any fabric store. If you're in the States, Joann Fabrics, probably, I would think maybe Michael's has it too. I'm sure any fabric store, wherever you are, will have some sort of fabric glue. I even have some bugles in my mix, which is great. Okay, we're going to need a size 11 and 12 beading needle. I'm going to try and make it with an 11. I bend the 12s a lot, so I'm going to try and get through the whole thing with size 11 needle, but have a 12 handy. Some 6-pound Fireline. There you go. There's your beading needle. Some 6-pound Fireline. Need a pencil. Okay. I think that's about it. If I forgot anything, of course, I'll put it in the description box below. One other thing I always use, my little flat nose pliers. I always have that handy when I'm bead weaving, because it's amazing how great this guy is for flattening threads, pulling threads through when they're when they're stuck. This is the all-around best tool ever. This I stole from my husband. It's probably 30 years old. It's not a jewelry tool. It's and he's probably been looking for it for 30 years. Okay, so we got that. I think that's about it. So why don't you gather up your goodies, and we'll get started, and we'll start gluing the cabochon and the eyes on, and then we'll get started beading. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, so we're back. I have my cabochon ready. I've got his eyes. I've got some seed beads. You know, everything is on the side, but right now we're going to work with the stiff stuff and the getting the drawing in. So you do not have to be artistic to do this. We're going to do everything using the cabochon. Now this is one that I, had done, and this is the one I'm working on now with you that I'll be working on. But this is what I did. So I took the cab. I'm just going to go over this. And what I want you to do is bring him down. Bring the body down a bit, because when I did this one, I went up too high. Most of your beading is really above the cabochon, if you notice. This part doesn't go on the beading. The fringe will be added separately. So go to the lower third. Leave yourself about about half an inch or so. On the bottom, and enough space up at the top so that you have half an inch around everything. So, the lower third is good. All right, so mine isn't there, but that's okay. Just draw around your cabochon like that. So there you have his body. That's exactly what I did. Then I took the cabochon and I overlapped it over the, sort of by half, over the oval I've just drawn. Okay, put him over here for a second. And then I just went like this, boop, and I tilted a little bit. All right, so and then I drew around it. I just traced around it like so. All right, see? Then I took the other, I overlapped him again by about half, and then I just pushed him out a little bit. Okay? Don't worry if it's not, perfect on both sides. It's not supposed to be. Okay? So there you go. There's his body. So you're just using your cabochon, really, for the most part, to make his body. So you have his body and his feathers right there. And of course, the fringe is going to go down here, but we're going to cut it off and we're going to put that on separately. Okay, so now you want to get his eyes on, you want to find them, just like eyeball the middle of your oval and put your SuperDuo right here. Okay, so that's where your so just draw an oval right there. So you see how I've drawn this oval right there where the SuperDuo is going to go? And then just put a couple eyes in. You can use, I'm just freehand drawing them, and I thought, one might be bigger than the other, and I might need to play with them a little bit. You can use a coin, a dime. I tried a dime, but it was a little bit too big. So any kind of, even another cabochon, maybe an 8 or a 10 millimeter cabochon. I'm going to measure his eye. Actually, that would be a good idea. I didn't even think of that. I'll measure the size of the circle you want here. So let's see. It's about about half an inch, a little less than half an inch. So I always have a ruler that that is either too reflective or clear. So his eye is about a half an inch by half an inch, or a little bit less than that. Okay, so make the circle, do it so like so, and so you find some circle that you might have that's about that size, about half inch, in the diameter. So, and then put them there. Just put each one there and draw around them. Okay, so you see where your beak is. Just put your little circle there and draw around them. Okay, so now you've got almost the whole owl done. And then what I did to get it's a horned owl. So I just did a line across, and then I thought, okay, horns look like this, so I'll just go like that. You can actually make them straight and then curve them like that, and then as you go along and bead, you'll probably, you'll come in a little bit, or you'll change it a little bit. But it's really mostly made with geometric shapes, so you don't really have to draw much. I'm going to talk you through this, and so you won't have any issues doing it. So if you do it the way I said, by using the cabochon and the shapes and draw around them, you'll get the shape without a problem. Okay, so don't worry about it. You don't have to be artistic. All right, so here he is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our cabochon. Okay, so you've got your drawing done and everything. Take your cabochon, and you're going to take your E6000, and I'm not going to use E6000 because I told you it gives me a headache, and I don't have the Fabri-Tac nearby, but I'm going to see if I can use some, just to show you how to get it on. I'll use a little Elmer's right now. So take some glue, and so you want to spread it on the back, And you need something to spread it with. I would use a toothpick or a, I usually have a skewer hanging around somewhere. I'm going to use a piece of paper. I'm just going to pull a piece of paper out and just spread your E6000 on like so. Just get it right to the edges. You don't want to get it on the face of the stiff stuff, because where it will dry and it has, you know, it's flexible. It's really hard to get through it. You know, once it's dried on the stiff stuff, so you're giving yourself extra work. So then take your cab, put it on. You've got your E6000 on there, and sort of, you know, put it in that little oval you drew, and just like so. Okay. Now, I would suggest that if you have never done, and I should have done this in the beginning, but I would suggest that if you've never done this part of it, that you go to Mother Earth and bead that cabochon, because that gives you all the instructions. I'm not going to go into super detail with the instructions here, because by now you have probably, Mother Earth would, you know, it will teach you everything. This might be a little difficult as a novice or somebody who has never beaded done any cabochon or bead embroidery. You know, it's just going to make it harder for you. So if you do it, just do the pendant in Mother Earth. You don't even have to finish the whole thing. Just, you know, learn how to bezel the cabochon. It will, you know, it gives you all the information. So I would really suggest you do that. So anyway, we've got our the cab on, and then I'm going to put his eyes on, just because it gives me, you know, sort of a focus where to go. And so put his eyes somewhere that pleases you. Okay. So that kind of pleases me. You can make him like silly. You could make him looking in a different direction. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop. All right, so just put them sort of, I put them a little bit in. I don't put them exact center. I brought them in a little bit. They just looked, you know, better that way. So glue those on, and glue your cab on, and then go have a cup of coffee, have a snack, call your friends, go shopping, get your beads ready. Give it a little time to dry, in other words. You want to give this, you know, I always say to give your cabochons overnight, but it can be unrealistic. So if you give it a half an hour to where it's not moving, then when you touch it, then that should be okay. All right, so why don't you go ahead and do this, and then meet me back here, and I'll get you started on doing the beading around the cabochon. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and my my cabochon is dry, my eyes are on. I've used Elmer's, and if it falls off, it's because I'm using Elmer's, because I'm not going to keep this one anyway. This is display purposes, demonstration purposes. Okay, so we're going to do a little two bead back stitch. I keep calling it two stitch back stitch, two bead. Okay, so pull out your 11-0 matte bead and your 15-0 dark gold seed bead, and what we're going to do is we're going to do that 4-layer bit here. So you've got the 11-0s, the 15-0s, the 11-0, and a 15-0. You don't have to do all those. You can just do it like Mother Earth if you want. That's fine also. You can do a peyote bezel if you love to peyote bezel things. I just did this to kind of bring his, you know, I just sort of gave it a lot of dimension, and I was having fun doing it. So it is this is going to be a long process doing all this around the cabochon, but once you do it, you know, it's, you know, you've practiced enough, so you'll be able to do any cabochon after that. All right, so thread your size 11 or 12 beading needle with 6-pound Fireline, about 3 feet. At about a 6-inch tail mark, 5-6 inches like that, I want you to make a knot. But I want you to make, not just go through the loop once, go through 3 times. This is just another way. I keep trying different ways of beading, different ways of knotting, and I find that you know, many websites or books say make one knot and then make another knot on top of it. Every time I try to do that, I make one knot, and then the second knot that I try to get right on top of it ends up over here or over here or over here. So I find if you just do, you know, just do like a surgeon's knot, you know, and just make it one, it's just fine. It works fine. All right. So come up through the side, through your backing to the side of your cabochon, just like that. Okay. Come through. The knot's going to stop you. Okay. Then I want you to take 2 of your 11-0 matte sea beads. Bring them down. Place your needle right through your backing in front of that second bead. Pull down. Come back up through the backing, right at the top where the first bead is. And then come down those 2 beads. Okay. Then pick up 2 more beads. Come on down. Put your needle right there. Make sure your beads are nice. You know, you don't want them too tight. You want them just sitting comfortably next to each other. Bring your needle down. Then I want you to go back 3. Come back up through the third bead and that first bead you put on. Try to keep your needle and thread right next to the cabochon. Then come forward the 3 beads. Okay. Do that one more time. Take 2 beads. Come on down. Come back 3 beads between beads 3 and 4. Pull your thread up. Come forward 3 beads. Okay, and just keep doing that, and do that until you get all the way around to the end. And when you get all the way around to the end, wait there for me, and I'll show you how to put the second row on. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, so I'm coming down to the end, and I have my last 2 beads to put on, and so I'm going to pick up 2 beads. Not sure if I need 2 beads at the end here, but we'll see. Might just take 1. See if these 2 fit. It looks like they're going to fit, so let's bring those down. You don't want to crowd them. You're better off having a little bit of space than crowding them, but that was sort of a good fit, so I'm just going to come back. Then I'm going to go through all the beads. So I'm just going to needle through with my, needle through all the beads with it, just the thread. And go around a couple of times. Just so you get, you just got to straighten out the beads this way. And my cap, of course, is not on very securely because I've used Elmer's. Don't use Elmer's. I just, this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to keep going around. Okay. So my goal is to get to where my tail thread is, because I want those to come out of the same, to be next to each other, and I'm going to tie them together. So, you'll need to go through, try and go through these 11-0 beads a couple of times. I just want to get you started on the next row, and then I'm going to send you, you're just going to repeat what we did, so I'll just send you off on your own to finish that. Okay, so almost there. But you do this a couple of times, just to get, because you're not going to go through these beads again, so you want to fill them up, and it makes them nice and straight looking. So here I am. I'm just about where my tail thread is, so I'm just going to come down like so, And then I'm going to grab my scissor. I'm just going to cut off my thread. And then I have these two, the tail thread and the working thread cut off. I'm just going to tie those into another knot. And then later, what we'll do is we'll bring these threads up through the surface and we'll sew them into the beads, and you won't even know that they're there. And that'll be nice and secure. So this, you know, as I said, do this a couple of times. And then you want to start with your 15-0s. So bring your needle up through the backing in between the 11-0 and the cabochon. Now what you want to do before you do that is make, you know, you're re-threading your needle and make that little knot I told you about. Or however you know, if you're experienced at this and you want to do it your way, just do it your way. I'm just putting a knot in to hold it on like so. So I've come up between the 11-0s and the cabochon. I'm going to take two 15-0s. I'm going to drop those down. I'm going to do the same back stitch, and then I'm going to let them lay right on top of the 11-0s. I'm not going to pull them tight. I'm just going to have them lay on top. So you see how they're just laying there. And then I'm going to come back and come forward. All right. Then I'm going to take two more 15-0s, same two bead back stitch. Two more 15-0s. Come down in front of the beads. See how they're all sitting together now? Come back up. Keep your needle close to the cabochon. It's easier for trimming later. Come through, forward through the beads. And there you have it. So you're just going to continue this. And just make sure they're sitting on top of the 11-0s. See how they're sitting there? So go all the way around and then do the same thing we did with the 11-0s. Go, you know, put your last beads on and then needle your way through with your thread a couple of times so that your beads straighten out. Bring your thread through, cut it off, tie it in a knot. We're gonna get rid of those threads, you know, after. Okay, so you're gonna do this one time, and then if you want to do this beading, do it again. So here's twice up to the 15-0 here, and then the 11-0, then put another 11-0 on top, and then another 15-0. So you've got a pretty big, you know, pretty good deal of beads to put on there. It really doesn't take that long. As I said, I just liked the way it looked, and I didn't want to do a peyote bezel, which I will do eventually, but I just kind of liked how that looked. So if you want to do that, go on and continue on doing that, and then meet me back here once you're done with your 15-0s, and this is what you'll have. So we'll go on from there. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so we're back, and I think it's time to put the little beak on. So we're going to put that little SuperDuo right there. So come up. I've threaded another needle. I've knotted it. I've come through the back, and I've come up sort of right at the edge of the beads there where we put on that little, we drew in that little oval for the SuperDuo. So come up through the middle of it right there at the bottom. And then pick up your SuperDuo. Don't worry about what happens with the SuperDuo right now. Just let it drop. And then go back through your backing about a bead's width, you know, to the end of, you know, just about a bead's width. We want to get that SuperDuo right there. Okay, so I've come through. Don't worry if it's all floppy, it's going to straighten out. Okay, so you've come through and then come up to the top hole of the SuperDuo, and make sure that you're going through the same side as you went through with the bottom. So bring your thread through and then come through the top of the SuperDuo. So just make sure it's not crooked. All right, and that should straighten it out. And you see there, it puts it on. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down again. So make sure you're staying in somewhat in your oval, you know, where you've drawn it in. Don't worry too much about it. It's going to look great. And then come back up the backing where the bottom hole of that SuperDuo is. Come through the bottom again. like so. Go down the backing again, and you're just going to keep doing this a few times just until it feels you know, that SuperDuo is in place. Now don't pull too hard because you'll just pull the SuperDuo over. So just, you know, keep it, you know, keep a good tension on it, but don't pull it super tight because it's going to be held, it's held on with thread and beads. All right, so then I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to go back up, right at the bottom where that SuperDuo is. Go through again, and I think that's enough. It looks like it's staying pretty well. This is what it looks like in the back. Just kind of, you know, kind of tack that down a bit. All right. So now bring your needle through the back, and I think we're going to do a little work on the eyes. So what we want to do, excuse me, is you want to outline these with your 11-0. So you see he's outlined right here with 11-0. So let's get that done. So you're coming through the back, come back up, through the top of that SuperDuo, not through the hole, just on top of it. And then you're going to do back stitch around the eyes. So take 2 beads, bring them down, and using 11-0s, and just, you know, follow your line where you're where you have that circle. So I'm just going to go back like so. Make sure your thread isn't caught. Just check every once in a while and see. Okay, then I'm going to go forward. Hold your finger on it until you get it, you know, you get a nice curve going. Let's put 2 more beads. Come on down. Come back through the third, the first bead there. And you can move it around to where it's comfortable for you to sew. And then come on through. Okay. So see, you're starting to make that curve of the eye. So just take 2 more beads and just follow your line. And it's just like following a printed pattern, right? So I'm just, you know, I'm just going to follow where my line is going. Now don't pull so tight that you rack it out. Just, you know, just follow your line, and it'll go in a circle. Just follow the circle. Come on back. Like so. Okay, so I'll just keep doing that and come all the way around until you get to your cabochon. Okay, so do 1, and then we're going to bring it around, and then we're going to come around and do the other. But just do 1 for now, and meet me here at the end of the cabochon, and we'll do that part together. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and I've gone around one eye, and I've come out. I might pull in a little bit for this. I've come out over here. I'm near the SuperDuo. What I want to do at this point is I want to go up. Okay, so I'm just going to take 1 bead. I'll do the end with you here, and I'm going to put that one on, just in the normal way. You should have room for about 1 bead there, or you might just be at the end. It's possible, but I had room for 1 more. So I'm just going to put that bead on. I'm going to come up. You know, if you're right at the beak and you used 2 beads and you're waiting there, that's fine too. It's going to differ. It's going to vary on how you bead. Okay, so I'm right sort of at the edge of his beak there. So I want you to go this way. Notice the thread is going this way and the needle's going this way. So that one important thing that I was talking about a lot with the Tallulah bracelet was changing directions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my needle down right in front of that last bead, like so. Don't get it caught on your beak. I think I got them caught there. Come here, you. Okay, almost there we go. All right. So I've come down through the backing, and then I want to come back up so that my needle is, it's just at that very edge by the above that bead, that last bead. See, like right there, because I'm going to push that SuperDuo over. So the needle is coming out above that last bead. So we want now we're going to go in this direction, that way. So take 2 beads. So what we're doing is we're just going to sort of surround his beak with some beads, and that's the whole thing from now on that you're going to be doing. You're just going to make some pleasing pattern for you with your beads, and that's what's so cool about this, is that you can do anything you want. And I find that just changing direction. So here I am, I've put the 2 beads on. I'm going to snug those up against that 1 bead on the bottom, and see how I've changed direction now. Just come back those 2 beads, and then come up. Okay. So now his beak is sort of getting, surrounded a bit by beads. So and don't worry if it moves a little bit, it's not a big deal. So if you have room to do 2 more, on this one I had more room, but I only have room, I think I have room just for 1. So I'm going to bring 1 down and see how that looks. It all depends, like I said, on how you bead, the size of your beads. I might have made this a little bigger. So I just have room for 1 bead. So I'm just going to put 1 in. I'm going to come down. Okay. Now all of this is sort of suggested because, as I said, your beading is going to be different. You may have 4 beads to go. You may have 3. I'm just giving you an idea of what to do. And then you're going to have to adapt it to how yours is working. You don't have a pattern written on a piece of paper. You have just what you've drawn. So it's going to change a little bit. So here his eye is, I've got his eye and his beak surrounded. So I'm going to go through my stiff stuff just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to come back up. So I'm going to go down the other side like so. So I'm coming up right at the tip of the nose, and I'm going to do the other eye. I'm going to do the other eye, I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to end up back here. And that's going to end his, going around his beak. So do that again, and then what you can do, so I don't have to keep stopping and starting so much. After you're done here, and you're happy with how your pattern looks, and or your sequence of beads and how you've put them on, come on through and outline the horn part of him. So you see, just take your Levanos and just make the outline right there. What I did is I put a few shiny beads at the top, just at the tips of the horn part here. But you can do that if you want. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're going around the eye, we're coming back up, we're coming through. We're going to work our way over, behind, we'll travel over to this part and outline this part, okay? And then meet me back here, and I'll show you, we'll start to fill in this part, and then this part is simple. We'll get to this part after that. Okay, so I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Okay, we are back, and we're getting there. So I went around and I did his eyes, and then I did his little horned part. I changed it a little. I made it a little more pointy on the ends. And again, the way I achieve all these curves and points and such is I change direction. Just like we changed direction around here. Here we changed direction. Remember, we came to the edge of the SuperDuo, we went down, and then we started going up. I did the same thing here. I started going up. I stopped here. Okay. Changed direction, I went down and went up again, and then went this way. So that is so important. I can't stress how important that is to when you want to make a curve or a point or go around something. You can't just go around like that. You need to change direction with your needle so it goes in the direction of the curve you want to go in. So that's really important, and I think that's just a matter of practice, and that will just take a little bit of time. So what you can do next is you can fill in the feathers here, and you can fill in his eyes. So we're just going to circle the eyes with some beads here. So I've used 11O metallic beads. I think these are dark gold or bronze, metallic bronze. So just do the same thing that we did before. Come up. You might have to put 2 rows in, depending on how big the eyes are. I made 1 row in the other one, but I might need a second one or part of a second one. So go around, just go through like this. Come through your backing. You've threaded another needle. You have the knot on. Go through your backing and do your 2-stitch back stitch again, just all the way around this eye and all the way around this eye. And you'll see, if you have any space, you'll do another row of 15 O's. You want to make sure these are encased a bit. If you notice that, they're not going to come out here. I can bend this and they're not going to pop out. They're encased in those beads. So you want to make sure that your beads are going to come right up against and even slightly over these crystals, and you're just going to have to gauge it as you're doing it to make sure that they do that. And like I said, you may have to put another, a third row in or part of a third row in. You'll just judge that as you go along. I mean, it's going to be different for each one of us. And also filling in the feathers on the top, I would start right here at the top of the SuperDuo. So I come in here like so, and then I would use the shiny beads, and that's what I used on the other one. Okay, so I would take 2, and again we're doing back stitch, right? So just put 2 in, and just go around one of the eyes like that. So you're going to bring it through like so, and then just keep going all the way around, and then fill in each end. And then when you come back, so you're also reinforcing these. So when you come back, you come through the beads and then do the other side. Okay, all the way around. And any open spaces, like you'll have an open V right here, let's say, just fill in with a bead or 2 beads until you've used up all your white space. So you don't think you need me to do that with you, because it's going to be different for you. I can't say place this bead in a particular place, because your owl is going to be different than my owl. But I'm telling you which direction to go. Keep going in the direction of around the eyes with this. So you're going to end up stopping probably here, or maybe get 1 through here, and then you'll go across, and you'll fit your beads in here. And as I said, go around go around the eyes with 1 or 2 rows of seed beads, and and then when you're done with that, what you can do, you can start on, and I'm not going to do that, so you've got kind of the idea of how that goes. So then you want to start on the feathers. Okay, so here are the feathers. This is the real easy part. This is a little more intricate part, but you can do that. Just follow your lines and fill in. I just filled in wherever I had a white space. So when you're doing the feathers, I'm gonna surround them with the same 11O matte metallic beads, but I'm going to put the feathers in first because I think it looks better to put the drops in. So come through a corner like that, like where the eye meets the cabochon. Just pick up a 3.4 millimeter drop, bring it down. Make sure I have my thread coming out. Bring it down. Just go back in. Just a little, just move your needle over a teeny bit just to go back through the backing, just like we did with Tallulah, and see how that fits right in there. Come on up. next to that bead. Pick up another drop. Okay, just drop it down. Just put your needle back in over, you know, maybe a seed bead's width, just to fit that other one. See, goes right in. So you then decide, do you want to put another one in? Maybe. So come on up. Pick up another bead. So we're doing the drops now. I'm going to put that one maybe right there. You can play with this. This part is the easy part, the real fun part, because it's the beads are big. Okay, so we've got like a first row of feathers, and what you can do is you can, you know, then you can come up here and put some more in, and you can, you know, you can sort of increase as you go and try to get them sort of random. You see how I've got some sitting on top of others? You know, just because it gives it a little more of a, it's not so perfect looking. It gives it more, looks more bumpy and more, you know, it has more texture going. So do that, and do that all the way on this side, and go all the way around to the edge like that, and do it on the other side too. And then what you can do at that point is, I know you're probably you're going to kill me because I'm giving you so many directions, but I don't want to make this video so long. So this is something that you know, once you start, you'll be getting it. So when you're done with all your drops, come up either through, here I kind of messed that up. Come up either here, depending on where you are, or here, and then start doing a curve, an outline of 11 O's, of the matte metallic bronze 11 O's right here. You can do it before you put the drops on, but I just like it better when you do it after. It gets, you know, it's kind of uneven and bumpy, and I like that. So then come around, okay? So come all the way around, and then come all the way around, and you know, you've got your all of your backing filled, and the next video will be finishing and putting on the fringe. All right, so good luck. I know you're going to do great on this. You could just rewind and look at what I'm doing. Remember that if you want a point, change direction. When you go up here, change direction. Put your needle in, pull it out so it's going in the right direction. If you want to go this way, if you want to go this way. If you're changing direction from doing something circular and you want to go to something straight, you can't just go like this. Put your needle in, bring it back up, go straight. So that's really important. Just remember that, and you will be able to do all of this without a problem. Okay, so I hope that you have a great time making this, and I'm going to end this video, and this part, I'm just going to make 2 parts out of this. The second part is just going to be putting on the Ultra Suede and doing the edges and the fringe, and then we are done. All right, see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Subscribe.